Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving into a fascinating topic, the invisible force, how to make women compete for you. On this slide, you'll see the title and subtitle that set the stage for what's to come. We'll explore how, in any social situation, whether it's school, work, or daily life, the key factor isn't just looks, money, or clever lines. It's something more subtle, value. I'll show you how projecting genuine value makes women not just notice you, but actually start competing for your attention. Over the next few slides, I'll break down a simple 6-step strategy that makes this effect real and predictable. So let's get started. All right, let's talk about the first step, the hook. This is all about locking her attention instantly. Most men walk into a room hopping to be noticed, right? But that mindset is actually powerless. A man of value doesn't ask for attention. Instead, he creates a moment that naturally draws it. Think about it. Humans don't really remember people. They remember moments. So if you can become the figure at the center of a meaningful or intriguing moment, you become sticky in her mind. That's the hook. For example, imagine entering a conversation calm, but with a slight smile or amusement, like you know something she doesn't. That sparks curiosity. Or say you make a remark that's tailored specifically to the moment but also unpredictable. That forces her brain to pause and think. And when her brain can't categorize someone easily, it keeps looping back, trying to understand. That's when her curiosity turns into obsession. The golden rule here is simple but powerful. Don't chase attention. Instead, create gravity, make her naturally drawn in by the energy and presence you project. That's the essence of the hook. All right, let's talk about the second step, the partial claim, give but hold back. Humans are naturally wired to complete patterns. When you share part of a story but leave out some details, your listener's brain kicks into gear to fill in the gaps. That's why saying, "You're beautiful," often falls flat. It's a complete statement, so there's nothing for the mind to explore. But if you say, "There's something dangerous about you," and then just pause, that silence creates a space for curiosity. It pulls her into the unknown, making her want to learn more. This idea also applies to your availability. Instead of giving a full schedule when asked, like "I'm free on weekends," you can say something like, "Depends who's asking. Sometimes I disappear for 2 days. No one knows where I go." That kind of partial reveal sparks her imagination. And as we know, imagination tends to paint a much more intriguing picture than the reality. The key takeaway here is that a partial claim makes her lean forward every single time. It's about creating that subtle tension, that curiosity, that keeps her engaged and wanting to uncover more. Now let's talk about step 3, control distraction, guiding her focus. Attraction is really like stage magic. People tend to follow the spotlight you create, not the mechanics behind it. That's what we call control distraction. When a woman asks, "What are you looking for in a girl?" most men will give a list of traits, almost like filling out a dating profile. But a high-value man pivots the conversation. He might say, "I was just wondering why you keep looking at me like that." And right there, the frame shifts instantly. You've pulled her from a logical, rational place into an emotional space. Here's the key psychological insight. When she's thinking logically, you're negotiating. But when she's feeling emotionally, you're influencing her. Control distraction makes you the one setting the stage, not just playing on it. It's about guiding her focus and emotions, so you're always in control of the interaction. Now let's talk about step 4, public investment, make her commit in front of others. When a woman invests in you publicly, whether it's sharing food, telling a story about you, or laughing loudly at your joke, she's doing more than just engaging with you. She's signaling to herself and everyone watching that you have value. Psychology shows us that once we commit to something publicly, it becomes much harder to change our mind or downgrade that commitment later on. So, even small cues, like inviting her to repeat something she told you earlier, help pull her into your frame right there in front of others. At the same time, this builds social proof. When other women see her choosing you or investing in you publicly, they instantly perceive you as more valuable. That social validation elevates your overall attractiveness in that social setting. So remember, making her invest publicly isn't just about her showing interest. It's about creating a perception of value that's reinforced both in her mind and in the eyes of others. All right, let's talk about step 5. Scarcity reinforcement, becoming rare. You see, we don't truly value what's always available to us. We tend to crave what's scarce or hard to get. That's why making yourself feel scarce is so powerful. It's not about childish games like ignoring messages or playing hard to get just for the sake of it. It's about showing through your lifestyle that you're not always reachable or predictable. When you leave conversations on a high note or mention exciting things without giving away all the details, you create a sense of mystery. Her mind will naturally obsess over the gaps. She'll fill in the blanks and become more intrigued. Scarcity isn't about giving more, it's about giving less, just enough to spark curiosity. And that's the key. When you do this right, she'll chase you, not because you're chasing her, but because you've created that elusive, desirable aura. It's a subtle but powerful way to reinforce your value and keep her engaged. Now we're at step 6, which is really the moment where the magic happens. This is when the competition loop kicks in and women start subtly competing for your attention. So this loop begins under 2 key conditions. First, your attention must feel rewarding, meaning when you give her attention, she feels genuinely valued. And second, your attention needs to be clearly scarce, so she recognizes that she's got to earn it. When these 2 conditions align, social comparison kicks in. She doesn't just want you, she wants more of you than the other women are getting. It's a natural psychological response. And this is driven by 3 core forces at play. Preselection, where if other women value you, she must be worth it. Social proof, which makes your value increase when others treat you like a prize. And loss aversion, which means the fear of losing you is actually stronger than the pleasure of having you. Now, if you stay calm, warm, and a little unpredictable in a group setting, women will start to subtly compete. They might interrupt each other, tease you, or mirror your body language. But here, the key point, this isn't about competing with you, it's about competing for you. That's the dynamic you want to cultivate. Let's explore the 5 golden rules of attraction dynamics. First, never triangulate with words, only with gravity. What I mean is, avoid bragging or overtly talking yourself up, because true attraction is about subtle cues and the natural pull you create. Instead, let her notice others' reactions. This creates a sense of intrigue and social proof that naturally draws her in. Second, reward effort, not beauty. It's important to focus on the investment she makes, her energy, her engagement, rather than just physical appearance. When she sees her effort is appreciated, she's more likely to chase after genuine connection rather than superficial traits. Third, exit on a high. Always leave moments unresolved, so she's left wanting more. This keeps the interaction exciting and creates anticipation for the next encounter, rather than letting things plateau or become predictable. Fourth, don't crown a favorite. Maintaining a bit of ambiguity fuels healthy competition and curiosity. If she perceives you as somewhat elusive, she'll be more motivated to pursue and understand you better. And finally, never lie or humiliate. Trust is the foundation of attraction. Once you lose it, the entire connection collapses. Authenticity and respect are what keep the dynamic healthy and sustainable. These rules, when applied correctly, align perfectly with the overall theme of creating genuine, magnetic attraction that's rooted in confidence and integrity. All right, let's wrap this up with some final thoughts. High-value men don't go around begging for attention. Instead, they create gravity, an attraction that draws people in naturally. How do they do that? By mastering a few key principles. The hook, which captures interest. The partial claim that sparks curiosity, controlling distraction so focus stays on you. Public investment, which makes your value apparent. Scarcity reinforcement, emphasizing your uniqueness. And the competition loop, which naturally makes others want to stand out and win your favor. When you put all these together, you shift from being a man who hopes women notice him to a man women actually compete to win. Remember, value isn't something you just declare outright. It's something she feels. And when she feels that value deep down, that's when the real chase begins. So, focus on creating that feeling and watch how the game changes.